So, hey everyone, welcome to Build Coders once again. Today, we are going to discuss on a very interesting topic that is Python virtual environment. And this is the topic that you must need it when you are making huge apps or even a small scale level app like integrating API and many more things because this is the place where most of the programmers used to be fail if they don't know. It's a very simple topic. If you understand, if you are coming with the flow of the video, you will understand that this topic is just a tiny piece of what we are going to learn in the future days. So I want you all to totally focus on what I am teaching you. Also, I suggest you to open VS Code on your devices. So it will be better that if you do hands-on practice along with me during the session. So let's move on. Now the first question, if before moving on, if I ask you that what is the virtual environments, right? Means uh, what are that? So to explain that, I have some example over here. Now understand that there are many files, right? For example, we are making a game. Let's say a game named Free Fire, for example. So in a game of Free Fire, what's happened? In a game of Free Fire, there are multiple things. You have to create a separate file for a, let's say, battleground, right? You have to create a separate file for holding all maps. You have to create a separate file for holding all characters, right? 1 minute. For holding all characters, you have to hold a separate file for holding whole the user data. And this is just a tiny piece of information. If I just gave you the overview of how to make a game like that of Free Fire. So this is just a tiny piece of information, right? But the thing is much more than this. Am I right? So let me tell you a basic difference. Let what why I'm trying to you say this means. If I explain you in a simple terms, the game of Free Fire needs battleground as one file, needs maps as one file, needs characters as one file, and needs user data as one file. Right? Okay, means do you agree with that? Don't just forget all these things. Let me erase this. Just for are we on the same level? Yes or no? So right now, just forward all the other things. Just focus that Free Fire needs these four things. Now there are four different things. So for four different things, assume that we need four different ingredients, right? For battleground, we need to set the rules, right? For maps, we need to set the 3D structure. For characters, we need to set again some animated models, right? For user data, we need to set some plain sheet or I can say list or array or something similar to that. So everything needs every different things, right? Everything needs every different things. But what if I just keep all these things in the same system? Means what will happen in that case? My friend, basically, if you keep all these things in the same system, it will got mess up. Yes, it will got mess up. How? Let me tell you. For example, you have given a variable x to import some library, let's say 3D model. There is no such library in Python, but let me say you have just uh, declare a variable x to import a library of 3D model, right? Now the 3D model library will only have all the things that will work for maps, right? Means why we need 3D model? Why we need 3D model library? We need 3D model library for maps. Do we need it for character? Do we need it for user data? Do we need it for battleground? So answer is big no. We don't need it for battleground. We don't need it for character. We don't need it for user data. We only need it for maps, right? So why to give whole 3D model library to the system? Now, if in case I give it a variable x, then I can't give a variable x again to battleground library, right? Now battleground, what is library? So library is just the set of code which we are going to import from the other developers who have already made it somewhere in their lifetimes. So my point of answer is every file has some functionality, right? Every file has some functionality, and with that functionality you need specific data, right? And for that, or I can say you need specific tool. That is the correct word. For that functionality you need specific tool. Do you agree? Are we on the same level? But that tool is only specific to this. You don't need it over here. You don't need it over here. You don't need it over here. Right? So in this case, what we will do? When we are importing things, we are directly importing to the system. We don't want to import it to our system. We want that we create an environment around this file and then store particular 3D model thing with this. We create another environment around this file and then store particular animations with this, and then we create again particular environment along these sides and then create a particular list or data with this. Every file has significance, every file has some requirements, and that requirements are unique. Every file requirements are unique with that file, right? So this concept of creating this concept of creating the box, or I can say the environment around the file too, is what we call virtual environment. Okay, is what we call virtual environment. Now, how to code all of these things, how to make a virtual environment, I will show you via VS Code. So just open your VS Code. In VS Code, let's make a file, say code virtual. Now, because we want to run it in Python, so .py, right? So here a virtual file has been created, right? Means if we wanted to look over here, yes. Yeah, so this is the virtual file that has been created over here. Now, yep, yeah. Now, let me show you how to declare something for a specific. Now, again, the virtual environments will be set for a folder, not for a specific file. This venv is a folder whole and virtual.py is a file. So if I create 100 files over here, it will not run for this. It will run only for this folder, not run for a specific file. Okay. So first, how do we create this virtual environment? So again, I repeat, virtual environment prevents conflicts, such as when there are two different projects need different versions of same tool. It keeps your project tool separate from your computer's main Python system, right? We have a main Python system, so it keeps your project separate from them. So there are some commands how to create, and I want you to remember. So again, how now I started doing Python means now I started inserting virtual environment into this folder. So right now I entered OneDrive, then entered desktop. This is another folder, and in desktop I entered venv. venv is our folder, right? So in that folder I am setting up my virtual environment. So my first code will be python dash m venv, and let's say game dash underscore venv, right? So if I write something like this, it will create the virtual environment over here, right? So that is being created over here. Now let me just break down this. So this Python means you want to set up virtual environment in Python. Now dash mvn in ev, if in simple terms I tell you, it tells to make. Dash mvenv means to make the virtual environment. Python means you have to make the virtual environment in Python. Dash mvenv means, dash m means make the virtual environment. And what is the name of your folder, right? This is the another folder created inside your venv. So what is the name of the folder you want to create? So set it anything. I have create over game venv, right? So it will be okay. Now once you enter this, you want to activate the virtual environment. Right now it's not activate. So how would you activate the virtual environment? Just do game, write the name of your folder, right? In the name of your folder you can say something like scripts, right? So I want you now back, this slash means you are entering the folder scripts, okay? And in there is a file name activate. So I just uh, I just activate over this, and this will work for me, hope so, finger crossed. Yeah, after it activate, it will show game VNEV. Game VNEV means your virtual environment has been set up. Yes, your file has been set up in a virtual environment. Now what you install in this virtual environment, it will stay limited through this folder. It will not in the system. Yes, your virtual environment thing will go limited to the system and not in your, will limited to the folder, not in your system. So let me show you the command of how to install something. So that is pip install, let's say py game, for making game. I will tell you the whole code of what it basically means. So it started installing the whole game. While it's installing, let me tell you. So pip over here means it's a spatial play store, you can say, right? It's the spatial, 1 minute, yeah. Pip install game means, pip means you can consider pip as a Google App Store, just like Google App Store. Python have their Python App Store, so pip means that. Install, we all know what you want to install. So they are saying that we want this particular technology, so we are installing the technology into our folder. So this is the meaning over here. So again, I want to tell you that this thing will work in Python 3.12 version instead of Python 3.14 version. Now, let me just tell you one more thing. Imagine that you have created some project over here. You have written immense lines over here and your project has been created. But you know that, for example, if I install Streamlit over here, right? Pip install Streamlit, it has been installed. It means it's installing. Streamlit is basically UI UX creator. I will again teach you the topics on that. Uh, Means it's working on it. It will once it install, I will show you. So basically, right now, what I'm telling is that your computer had made a game, right? Your computer have a library py game, right? Your computer had the code. Now you want that same game to run in your friend's computer. How will it do? If you just share the code, would you agree that code will run? Definitely not, right? The code will not run. And why so? The code will not run because of the reason that all the libraries, or I can say all the technology which you have installed in your computer, is not installed in your friend's computer. So to install it in your friend's computer, what will you do? To install it in your friend's computer, let me just show you. You will write a command pip install, then freeze, and let's say there is a common name for this such type of files, requirements.txt, right? So if a friend has your list, they type pip install dash r requirements.txt to create. Now let me just think. This line of code, pip install freeze requirements.txt, is the person who had created the game. He is transferring all the data what you have installed into a file name requirements.txt. So see over here, your file has been updated, requirements.txt. Right now we have not installed anything, so it's empty over here. Don't be worry about that, but it's working. I just want to show you that, right? Then now understand, if you want, now you share that file to that person, right? You share that file to your friend. Now your friend want to access that file, your friend want to install all the things. So will it just gonna to write that millions of things to install pip install dash means xyz thing? No, he will just gonna to write pip install all the things dash r usually means just install all the things requirements dot txt. So it will install all the things, right? Then by this it can install all the things. So this is how you used to set up the things. Now, for example, if I write over here import, now let me make a new file before that. Not in this. Yeah. Let me make a new file again. Let's say py dot, let's say game dot py, right? And if I import, let's say py game, or I can say if I import streamlit, it will work definitely, right? It will work. Other than that, it will not work, but it is working because you have already installed that library in is, right? And if I run this and if it will run properly, then you can understood that all things are set properly. Yeah, it's running means your streamlit has been installed properly into your system. Unless if this is not a case, and if I write, let's say matplotlib, if I uh, 1 minute here, its syntax is plot as plot. Yeah. If I run this, will it work? No. What it is showing? It is showing module not found error. Why? Because we have not installed. Now, if I install matplotlib, it's installing, right? It genuinely installing into your system. If you just do the same thing in another folder, it will again show you the error, right? So this is the whole thing. Yeah, see, it has been installed. Now, if I just run the code, okay, yeah, it's showing my box is ready. Before it's not showing because why? Because your matplotlib library is not being installed. So this is how you used to work everything. You want particular technology, you just installed it in a particular folder which actually need it. You are giving the food to a person who already have the food. Would he eat it? It will become more means exaggerated for that person, right? So this is what I want to tell. The virtual environments are the things which you used to set up across a particular folder, and what that folder do means what that environment do. So that environment you install many things related to that folder, not related to your system, right? And that things will get surround by that folder only. It will not surround by your system. So this is what I want to conclude through this. I want you to practice some more things regarding this. Just try to have this command that let me show you the command of python dash m venv game venv. You also should know how to deactivate it. So to deactivate it, you just have to write. Now, for example, I just activate this virtual environment, right? Now I want to deactivate. Just write deactivate. Yeah, you are just out of that environment. Now, if you run this, you are out of environment. It's like you have a file. It's like you have a file in that environment, right? And you are just pulling out the whole environment. You have a file in an environment. You are pulling out environment. You are not pulling out your file. You are pulling out your environment. So if you pull out the environment, all the things which you have downloaded are also being pulled out. So this is how all the things used to work. And I want you to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. So thank you. Meet you soon in another video.